this game, the open worldness of it, really what makes H1Z1 unique is that the game is so large and epic in scope. All of the encounters that you have, while similar, while you can certainly work on aiming and positioning, you know, a gunfight, if I'm behind this tree and a guy's behind that tree, this is different than if we're behind this tree and that tree. It's different if we're behind a rock, it's different if we're in an open field, it's different if I'm up here and they're down there. There's elevation, there's terrain. The number of things that exist in this game to make every encounter unique, it's really pretty cool. Now, you can simplify the game if you always have a vehicle and you're always picking your engagement. Alright, so that was not people killing each other, that was people... Okay, there's a guy right there. If he stops to loot... Alright, well, we had a hard time killing him. He stopped to loot. I shot what should have been his head. It was not his head. But the guy, that guy was not the guy who was in the last firefight. So as we push up, we have to be ready for the team of two, or the other two. And he was looking down scope at somebody else. He wasn't looting. He was taking aim at something that was happening further down here. It's a little spooky. Being a little risky here. Bandages, ammo, grenades, that's it. That's all we want. Whatever he's... Alright, so that's one of the guys who was in the previous kill span. And he got killed that time. Alright. Give it a sec, give it a sec. Sometimes you want to be patient. I didn't want him to get over the ledge, but I didn't want to hit him, or I didn't want to, you know, allow him to be in a position where he'd be able to come back and turn on me. And according to the game, he died way up here, which is interesting. Alright, so this isn't it either. Okay. So again, we're staying way south of where the action normally is. I would really love to... I still have so much food on my plate. But... So when I saw the earlier kill spam, there was a lot of fire, and... guys didn't kill each other. And all sounded like it was on top of each other. So I presumed two different people killed so person A and person B killed person C and person D. When something like that happens, and all the fire sounds like it's on top of each other, and then you don't see person A or B die, and you don't see person A kill person B, you don't see person B kill person A, it's reasonable to say that they're a team. Did they just completely miss each other and choose to disengage? Maybe. Are they a team? Maybe. Well, then I saw person B die in another exchange. So person A is still MIA. If they were together, you would think that they would be in the same area. But person A did not avenge person B, and person A has yet to die. So all that means is that I have no idea where anybody is and who is who. That's all it means. Right now we're still down on this side, which is fine. Oh, here we go. I did shoot 3 bullets, because I didn't know that I was going to instantly die. He didn't have a helmet. So, guys, let that be a lesson to you. Wear your helmets. But he did have a good... I mean, this is what you would call... I don't know if you want to say good position. But a conservative... Is this game hard to play? Huh. So there are certain things that make this game hard. Is this game hard to play? It's a good question. Here, let me... Is this game hard to play? Here are the things that make this game hard to play. Every engagement, like I said a little bit earlier, can and often is an experience unique unto itself. What I mean by that is that the player may or may not be crouching, he may or may not be jumping, he may or may not be behind a tree, he may be at a higher or lower elevation than you, you may have a certain number of shots in your gun. The number of variables... He's out. So the number of variables that are involved. You may or may not find yourself in the gas. I'll take another second to answer your question here. So, the number of variables that come into play. You may or may not have sneakers. It may be a team of 2, it may be a team of 3. There's so much that can happen in this game that as a player, your aim is to simplify the game and make sure that you're in the position to do what you want to be able to do. So positioning in this game is maybe even more important than being able to aim. If you have great position on somebody with good aim, that's better than having great aim with good position. Great position trumps all. So, what do you do to get position? Well, sneakers are exceptionally helpful. That's why when I find sneakers, like I have them up here right now, sneakers, yay. When you have sneakers, you are faster than everybody else on foot. And that gives you a huge advantage in mobility. Even more important than sneakers is a vehicle, because vehicles, in addition to offering some amount of shield, like, yes, you can be shot through the windows in the vehicle, but the actual vehicle itself is, as you saw with that guy, I shot however many bullets at the car in order to force him out. I couldn't get him out by killing him. It was, I don't know if that was potato or what, but he had to get out, and once he's out, it's only a few shots to actually kill him. So, in addition to being a shield, it's also super, super, super fast. So that allows you to take position, or to get position, but also take position away from people. So if I'm behind a tree and you have a vehicle, you can swoop up on either side of me, you can throw a Molotov, push me out. You have so many more options when you have a vehicle because you're so fast. So vehicles and control of vehicles is still exceptionally important in this game. And they haven't really done anything to decrease that in any way, shape, or form. Vehicles are still crucially important, I would say. If if you watch it, you know, the top streamers of this game, whether that's OP, or Grims, or Linden FPS, Angry Pug, a lot of people who have, you know, 100 plus wins with whatever, 900 to 1200 hours, however many hours they have. Those people who have played this game, you know, more than twice as long as I have, you will more often than not see them in a vehicle because it is just so strong and so powerful. So they make it a point to secure that advantage for themselves. And as a result, they do exceptionally well. The game is a lot harder on foot, mostly because your positioning is a lot more limited. When you're running, you're far more exposed than if you're driving a vehicle. And the speed with which you can run, even when you're wearing sneakers, is so much slower than a vehicle. You're just at a disadvantage when you're on foot. Like right now, if somebody shot at me, they could be hitting me. If I was in a vehicle, I could just drive away. Alright, so... Alright, now we're on the other side of Pleasant Valley. We are... Alright, we'll just keep going. We go around. Again, it's still low. My stomach is still growling. Hey Hendrix, good to see you this morning. So, I mean, I've played it enough so that my positioning... I try to keep my positioning in check. The other things, still answering your question, because it is a great question. The question, by the way, is this game hard? What a wonderful question to ask somebody who likes to talk about the game. It can be very, very hard to demonstrate restraint in going after somebody, but tunnel vision is very real, and so many times people are opportunistic. Maybe somebody else saw the same guy running, and if I start shooting at the guy who's running away, I am now in this position where I am a prime target for the other person who had demonstrated restraint, wasn't shooting at the guy who's running away, but now has the sound of my shots to locate me and hit me while I'm basically standing still. So if I'm down sight shooting at somebody who's running away, the other guy doesn't have to kill the guy who's running away. The other guy can kill me because I'm basically standing still. So if you're the first to fire in some situations, it can be very, very dangerous. What do you do to mitigate that? Well, you want to have situational awareness. Right now, there could be somebody in any of these bushes. There could be somebody who's coming up behind me. There could be somebody over there. But I spend enough time looking around and positioning my character that I'm pretty confident that I can go 1, hands off the keyboard, 2, 3. Like, I'm not worried right now. Now I'm starting to feel a little uneasy. I've overstayed. But I wouldn't have been uncomfortable if that was a real combat situation, spending about that 4 to 5 seconds down scope, because as far as I had surveyed, nobody was in a position to make a play on me within those 4 to 5 seconds. So you'll see people constantly swinging their camera, doing little checks, looking for movement. Some people like to do little movement checks forward, some people like to swing it back, some people do all of the above. Yeah, dude, I've been going since 6 a.m., buddy boy. Buddy boy. So, situational awareness is really good, but that restraint, being the first to fire, can sometimes be catastrophic. It's funny, I was watching Grims over last night. At one point he was talking about he was top 3, and he was aware, you know, he wanted to be cognizant of the fact that if he was the first to fire in a top 3, the other guy could kill him. It's a very, very salient point that a lot of streamers make. Some use different words, but the idea is the same. You do not want to overcommit to any individual fight. The other reason that that is important is because you never know when somebody's teammate is going to pop out. And if you overcommit to the first, and you're not ready for the second, now, sometimes it's a teammate, and sometimes it's just an ad. Sometimes it's that late ad that we were talking about. But if you're not ready for the second or third who can join the fight late, then, again, you've overcommitted to the initial fight, and you're compromising your ability to win the engagement. You know, it's the age-old adage, you win the fight but lose the war. Well, this is often a war of attrition, where, you know, the very first guy, yeah, maybe you get a kill, but you end up dying to the second because you overcommitted in order to get the first kill. Otherwise, in terms of aim, and in terms of, like, character control, the game is very similar, has a great feel. Character movement, jumping, camera control. The controls of the game feel very good, and are very normal for anyone who's played first-person shooters. I wouldn't worry about the game in terms of, hardness or easiness, in terms of character control. It's just much more, and even shooting, you know. A lot of people haven't made, or haven't spent as much time in a third-person shooter, but if you've played enough of, you know, keyboard and mouse first-person shooters, this little dot is more than you need. As you get more experience with the game, you know, I say to people, I don't even see the dot. The dot doesn't, I don't need the dot, because basically the way that my screen looks and feels, I know whether or not, you know, I'm doing what I need to do in order to kill people. So aiming, meh. Character movement and control, very easy. The big stuff is really positioning, map knowledge, being able to look at the map and say, okay, the gas is going to end here, or this is where I am relative to the gas. And like right now, I looked at the map a long time ago. I know that it's on the west side of Pleasant Valley here. I know the type of terrain that I'm going to be coming into. I know what to look for. Actually, this gas hasn't even hurt. So if this hasn't been looted, I'm a little light on first aid. I can probably come out of this net positive. By that I mean, I might use one first aid kit to stay in the gas, but I can probably get more than one by coming in here. Alright, so there's one. There's two. So if I come out positive in this situation, then it was a good decision. There's usually one there, there's not one there. 3. Use 1. So right now I'm +2. +3. +4. +5. Alright. So coming in here, I gained 5 first aid, even though I stayed in the gas a little bit longer. That's toxic gas. It does damage to you the longer you stay in it, and as the game goes on, the severity of the gas and the damage that it deals increases. The idea is, see this green circle? As the map goes green, it basically takes all of that out of play. The idea is that everyone's being pushed into a smaller and smaller area, so that you're more likely to find people, so that you're more likely to bump into people and kill each other. It's just like the Hunger Games. It's shrinking the field of play, so that everybody ends up on top of each other in a battle royale. So I hope that answers some of your questions about whether or not the game's hard. The other thing is like inventory management. I would say that inventory management, getting used to the game and all of that, is actually a little bit more challenging even than aiming is. Yeah, that's just like more getting used to the actual application, the game, and how it plays on your PC versus like aiming. Aiming is, you know, aiming. You put your mouse on somebody, you click, they die. The bullets are very, very accurate. The recoil is very, very light. There used to be a big bullet punch, or what do they call it? Hit punch. Where like if you would hit somebody, their gun would go like that. So like if they're getting rocked by bullets, their body's gonna like jerk, and it's gonna be hard for them to aim. But they basically removed the hit punch completely. So if you're getting hit, it can actually be to your advantage sometimes. If I'm getting shot at, and somebody hits me, my character will animate in a way that can mess up somebody who's shooting at me. My character can, like, flip out, which might make it harder for somebody to shoot my head. But it doesn't actually affect my, my aim. Alright, so we're top 9. We're gonna be out of the gas any second now.